Check 1 2.
Okay, we're going to do that over again. Call the meeting to order. Have a roll call, please.
Mr. McConnell.
Present.
Mr. Hildebrand. Mr. Tripp.
Present.
Mr. Legess. Mr. Stauffenberg. Mr. Vickery. Mr. Olthoff. Ms. Polk. Mr. Mulcahy. Mr. Einfeld. Ms. Weber. Ms. Evans. Ms. Peters. Ms. Parker. Mr. Ritter. Mr. Wheeler. Mr. Lear. We have a quorum.
We have a quorum. You've been distributed the minutes of the approval of minutes of 19th. Oh, I don't see any public comments. Any public comments? No public comments. Okay. You have the minutes of the April 19th meeting. Is there any additions, corrections? Need a motion to accept? Mr. Olthoff, Ms. Parker for a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign, motion carried. Okay, Mark. Okay, you ready to go? Okay, we need a motion to open the bids for the letting of the Otto Township. We need a motion to open them. Mr. Tripp? Evans? Back there. Ms. Peters, back there. Okay, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Okay. Yeah, there's only one bidder.
Okay, the opening of the bid is for Otto Township Road District, Section 17-10000-00-GM Supplement 2. This is for some oil and chip work to be done in Otto Township. And the only proposal I have this morning is from Grasso Construction Company. They have an ATC attached and a cashier's check for a proposal guarantee in the amount of $1,000. Grasso's bid is $31,420.19. $31,420.19.
He's checking to see if it's in acceptable range.
Yep, just
Okay.
less than 10% over, yes.
So it's in the acceptable range?
Yes.
Okay, is that it then?
Yep.
Okay, we need a motion to accept Mr. Vickery and Mr. McKay has seconded it. Any questions? We need a roll call, please.
Mr. McConnell.
Aye.
Mr. Tripp.
Aye.
Mr. Lejes.
Aye.
Mr. Stauffenberg.
Aye.
Mr. Vickery.
Aye.
Mr. Olthoff. Ms. Polk. Mr. Mulcahy.
Aye.
Ms. Weber. Ms. Evans. Ms. Peters. Ms. Parker. Mr. Lear. Motion carries.
Carries. Thank you. Okay, county engineer's pay estimates.
All right, I have a few pay estimates this morning. The first one is for the county's general maintenance for 2017, payable to Compass Minerals America. This is for the remaining salt that we had to purchase through that contract, and that amount is $44,361.81. Next is for our 2017 County General Maintenance Supplement 1. This is payable to Ennis Paint. This is for the white and yellow traffic paint for striping, and that amount is $67,028.50. Next is for our county general maintenance for 2017, pay estimate payable to Gallagher Asphalt Corporation. This is for hot mix asphalt surface picked up at the plant, and that amount is $188.00. Next is for our 2017 county general maintenance payable to Kankakee Valley Construction. This is for cold mix picked up at the plant, and that amount is $1,390.35. Next is for our 2017 county general maintenance supplement 1. This is payable to Osborne Associates. This is for signing materials, and that amount is $10,015.60. Next is for our county general maintenance supplement 1 payable to Potter's Industries. This is for the glass beads to be for the striping operations this summer, and that amount is $17,284.00. Next is our 2017 county general maintenance payable to Prairie Material Sales. This is for road mix picked up at the quarry, and that amount is $1,070.04. Next is for our county general maintenance for 2017 supplement 2. This is a final pay estimate to Toby's Construction and Cartage. This is for the work that was performed on County Highway 6 for the aggregate base repair and pulverization. That amount is $105,728.50. Next is for our county general maintenance payable to Vulcan Materials. This is for CA16s and road mix picked up at the quarry, and that amount is $3,328.88. Next is for St. Anne Road District for their 2017 general maintenance. This is payable to the St. Anne Road District Treasurer. This is for equipment rental, and that amount is $25,000. Next is Norton Road District for their 2017 general maintenance payable to Toby's Construction and Cartage, and that amount is $131,968.88. Next is Auto Road District for their 2017 general maintenance supplement 1. This is for road mix picked up at the quarry with their trucks, and that amount is $4,053.60. And last is Norton Township, section 08-09106-01-BR. This is payable to Engineering Resource Associates. This is the remaining we owe on structural design services for the bridge in Norton Township, and that amount is $7,217.76.
Okay, we need a motion to approve and accept as read. Mr. Olthoff, a second? Right there. Any discussions? Any questions? Need a roll call, please?
Mr. McConnell.
Aye.
Mr. Tripp.
Aye.
Mr. Lejes. Mr. Stauffenberg. Mr. Vickery. Mr. Olthoff. Ms. Polk. Mr. Mulcahy. Ms. Weber. Ms. Evans. Ms. Peters. Ms. Parker. Mr. Lear. Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're going to go into the resolutions now. I'd like to have a motion to waive the reading of the entire documents and just put into record the heading, and then Mr. Rogers will explain it. Mr. Tripp, in a second. Mr. Vickery. Okay, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Okay, Mark?
Okay. The first resolution is a resolution determining prevailing wages for public works contracts in Kankakee County. This is required by the Department of Labor each year that the county has to have a resolution on and publish that the county is, any public works that are performed are according to prevailing wage. The wages are attached to this resolution. You probably notice it says July 2015. On their website, they say the 2015 prevailing rates are still in effect until the department publishes the 2016 rates. A determination of the new rates is in process. So this is what we have to work with.
Okay, need a motion to accept this resolution? Mr. McKay, second. Mr. Vickery. Any questions on this? Mr. Lear?
Thank you. Given that they're still working on 2016, will we need to redo this?
No, we just need to update them as they become available.
Any other questions? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Is this roll call? Or are we spending money? Oh, we are spending money. Roll call, please. Thank you. I had that written down too.
Mr. McConnell.
Aye.
Mr. Hill, no, Mr. Tripp.
Aye.
Mr. Lejes. Mr. Stauffenberg. Mr. Vickery. Mr. Olthoff. Ms. Polk. Mr. Mulcahy. Ms. Weber. Ms. Evans. Ms. Peters. Ms. Parker. Mr. Lear. Motion carries.
The next resolution is being prepared currently by the state's attorney, but I do have the management agreement here. It is for authorizing the board chairman to sign the management agreement with court money for collection of electronic payments. Currently, the highway department doesn't accept electronic payments. We issue oversized overweight permits to a lot of companies and a lot of freight haulers that are outside of the area, out of state. We've had several requests. Well, can't we pay with a credit card? Well, we just haven't had the ability to do that. I learned recently that another county engineer was approached by court money and set this up for them to collect oversized overweight fees, culvert fees, all of those type of fees when they issue permits. So I did call that county engineer. He said it's working great. Sounds like they do things very similar to how we do them, because it's not just a matter of somebody going online and then, requesting a permit and putting in their credit card numbers. They have to call us. We have to determine if the route's okay. We issue the permit, and then we have to charge. So it sounds like this plan is very flexible. They charge $1.75 for any transaction under $50. We do not pay anything. The county, if our permit is $30, the person pays the $1.75. We get our $30. And then we are not charged anything. So the payee pays the $1.75, not the county.
Okay, motion to accept this resolution? Peters and Ms. Evans. Oh, you have a question? Okay. Well, hang on. Hold on. There's a motion on the floor. Need a second? Second, Ms. Peters. Now, questions? Okay.
Sorry, I thought we were already at the motion, past the motion part. The advertisement of the service, it says the client, who would be us, agrees to post information. Do you foresee any cost in advertising that?
No, in my conversation with the president of the company, there are no costs to the county. I mean, we don't have a lot of foot traffic in and out of the highway department. I mean, if we have a little, what do they call it? The swipe. There might be a little sign, court money on it. And I've seen, like, when you purchase if you buy your vehicle sticker from the Department of Transportation, it's kind of the same thing. It has their little advertisement of whoever's providing that electronic payment service.
Any other questions? Any other questions? Any other, no other question? Okay, we've got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. The next two resolutions are regarding bridge construction projects for Bourbonnais Township. The first one, the resolution appropriating county bridge funds to match Bourbonnais Township Road District local funds to construct a bridge in Bourbonnais Township. This bridge is located at 4,000 North, which at 3,500 East, and recognized by Section 12-02105-01-BR. The Township Highway Commissioner petitioned the county to pay 50% of the local share because it is the value of the bridge, which we estimate around $600,000, exceeds 0.02% of the value of the taxable property in the road district. It's their petition is on the back, and there is a location map on the back also, and I do have the money programmed in my budget. So just need to accept the petition and appropriate the funds.
Okay, let me get a motion and a second, then we'll go to the question. Need a motion to accept?
Did we get a motion? No move to accept.
That's what I'm asking for now. Mr. Vickery, second. Mr. Weber. Okay. Now, questions. Mr. Vickery.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. How long will construction be on that?
Well, it probably will not begin. We're hoping to get it let this fall. So it all depends on the weather, as we've seen with other projects around the county, but they normally take 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay. So I see it's pre-stressed concrete or,
Yes.
okay. All right, thank you.
Any other questions? Mr. Olthoff.
Thank you, Chairman. This is over Soldier Creek, is that right?
Yes.
The beginning of Soldier Creek?
Beginning of Soldier Creek, yes.
Okay.
Anyone else? Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. McConnell.
Aye.
Mr. Tripp.
Aye.
Mr. Lejes. Mr. Stauffenberg. Mr. Vickery. Mr. Olthoff. Ms. Polk. Mr. Mulcahy. Ms. Weber. Ms. Evans. Ms. Peters. Ms. Parker. Mr. Lear. Motion carries.
The last resolution I have is a resolution of the county board for the county board chairman to sign an engineering agreement and appropriate county bridge funds to match Bourbonnais Township Road District local funds to construct a bridge in Bourbonnais Township. This bridge is located on 3100 North at 2000 West, identified by section 17-02-124-00-BR. Same instance here, the Township Highway Commissioner petitioned the county pay for 50% of the cost. We estimate that cost of the entire bridge to be $600,000. Just like the previous one, we are using Township Bridge Program money, which pays 80%. So the township will pay 10%, and the county will pay 10%. So we want to appropriate $60,000 of county bridge funds. And we need to sign an engineering agreement for this one so that we can pay for the engineering with Township Bridge Program funds. So that's the other part of this resolution, is for the board chairman to sign this agreement.
Okay, I need a motion to accept. Mr. Tripp, second. Mr. Stauffenberg. Any questions? Mr. Lear.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Could you remind me, Mark, what happens if the estimated cost is low and there's a cost overrun?
If we go over the 60,000, I would have to come back to this committee and appropriate more funds.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Any other? Mr. Lear. I'm sorry, Mr. Vickery.
The bridge on the old Woody Road,
Yes, they set the center span and the west span yesterday, and they're setting the rest of the deck today. Going to be grouting probably tomorrow, and hopefully the weather will cooperate and we'll get everything else done in short order.
okay. I get questions about that, and I keep
I'm
forgetting
sure.
to bring it up, but
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. McConnell.
Aye.
Mr. Tripp?
Aye.
Mr. Lejes? Mr. Stauffenberg? Mr. Vickery? Mr. Olthoff? Ms. Polk? Mr. Mulcahy? Ms. Weber? Ms. Evans? Ms. Peters? Ms. Parker? Mr. Lear? Motion carries.
Any other questions for Mr. Rogers? Any other questions? Mark, you have any comments? Any other thing? Anybody? Okay, thank you. Mr. Cadboys. Thanks, Mark.
Morning. How are you, Mark?
I need a motion, I'll call for a motion to open the bids.
Right.
Thank you.
Are you ready to go?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna need a motion to open the bids for the vending contracts. Ms. Evans and Mr. Lejes. All in favor, say aye. Approved. Same, okay.
Easy. We received two bids. One was from CL Vending and the other was from Alternative Vending. I'm opening the Alternative Vending. Basically what we do is what payback we get to the county is what the vending contract is based on. They pay us back. So Alternative Vending has indicated they have a 20% that they're willing to pay back to the county in the form of vending commissions. So that's a 20% payback. What I'd like to do is go review all these and bring this back to the next committee so I can go thoroughly cover everything before we approve everything.
We can approve it upon your review.
Right. I have a couple of different packets here from CL Vending. And CL Vending was a 10% payback to the county.
So I'm gonna make a motion to accept that upon review.
Thank you.
Okay, I need a motion to accept that lowest responsible bidder upon review from Mr. Rogers. I'm sorry?
Highest payback.
Highest.
Highest pay.
The highest rebate. Okay. Who
Yes.
made the motion first? Mr. Lejes and then Mr. McKay. Okay, any questions for him?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hey, Brian, is that percent off of their profit or is that off the gross sale?
I think it's gross sales.
Okay.
Yes.
Good question.
Thanks.
From?
This company, what used to be Board Machine, was bought out by Alternative Vending Concepts about 5 months ago. And then CL Vending is out of, they're up north somewhere. I'll have to pull that and take a look. They're not local. CL Vending's not a local.
So if a candy bar sold for $1, we get 20 cents of it?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Tripp. Do you have a question?
Could you read those again, please?
Thanks, Mike.
The,
Mr. Tripp would like to have those read again, please.
it's Alternative Vending Concepts. It's indicate what percentage of gross sales you're willing to pay the county in the form of vending commission. Alternative Vending was 20%. CL Vending was 10%. And based on that's all we really do. We don't mess around with what they put in the machines other than non-perishable items that have to be protected, the longevity in the machine. So that's what we base what goes in the machines on. There's 3 machines in the courthouse, 1 at the annex building, 1 in the basement here. So we have 5 machines.
Get any idea of what that total?
No, that money's sent directly to the county and goes into the general fund. They receive a check once a quarter.
Okay.
So
Excuse me, Mr. Olthoff had a question? Oh, Mr. Vickery.
Thank you.
the Jerome Combs Detention Center in the old jail downtown is a completely different company taken care of with, it's done through the jail corrections chief. I don't have anything to do with those two with that vending company.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to accept the highest responsible bidder upon review from Mr. Gadbois. We need a roll, no, we don't need a roll call, do we? We're not paying any money.
No, it comes back. It'll come back to
Okay.
the next committee meeting. I'll have information.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you.
I'd like to take a minute. We received a letter from the this was addressed to the Chief of Corrections from Joe English. He's the head of ICE, the ICE program that we're currently under. And this was a letter sent to the jail chief, Chad Kalawinzu. I want to take a moment to say thank you to you and your maintenance team for their assistance with the successful completion of the ICE VTC system located at the Kankakee County Detention Center. It's folks like yourself that make a difference so a nice project can complete it at your facility. So that was a very nice letter. That was from the head of the ICE program. So that was a very nice letter from them telling us we did a good job.
Yep.
So we're happy about that.
Kudos to our staff. I know
Yes,
that the
sir.
sheriff
Yep.
is very well pleased with Brian and his staff, and they've done a yeoman's job in getting this completed.
All of them. There was a lot of people involved in
lot of
this, and it
people
went
involved.
very, very smoothly. So we couldn't ask for anything better.
Thank you.
We'll move on to facility due report. I had 132 work orders last month, in the month of April. That's down a little bit. Typically runs about 175. We'll move on to the financial report. $18,545.08. That's up a little bit because I had Kone. If you see there's $1,042 in the pay line coming across on service contracts. At the old jail, $3,700. I had a Johnson Control fire inspection of $1,900, garbage pickup of $19.99 for the month, pest control of $250. Other than that, everything's pretty much in order. It would have been a little less than what we typically spend, about $15,000 a month. If anybody has any questions, I have a complete list of everything that was paid over the month. If you have any questions, I can certainly answer those questions. Any questions on finance?
Mr. Vickery.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The swipe card system, I see it listed here. Are we okay on that thing now?
No, and I'm going to cover that at the end. I'll come back to that if you don't mind, because I'm going to cover quite a few things through that.
We have a separate sheet we'll look at back there.
Right. Also, I'd like to point out, I'm about right now showing about $18,000 over budget for the 5 months, ending 5 months. So I'm working on that. That will go down some as we move forward, as long as things keep operating the way they are. But that's where we are right now at the end of the first 5 months. Let's talk about the relocation. On 5/9 and 5/10, we relocated the criminal division to the courthouse. I have to say that Teresa Willis from the State's Attorney's Office did a tremendous job in organizing that relocation. She had everything marked. Everything at the courthouse was marked. 2 moves between her and I, we were able to get this thing organized. 4 guys and 2 trucks. We had that office back in operation in less than 2 days. Phones, computers, they were operational, and all the junk taken out of there. So that was a tremendous move. And now we're getting ready to start the second portion of that, which is this Friday and Saturday. Schools will be relocated out of the 6th floor here. I spoke with United Van Lines yesterday. They'll be here Friday morning to start that move out. That's not being coordinated by my office. That's being taken care of by the superintendent of schools. All I'll do is oversee everything goes out like it's supposed to. We then go back up there on Monday, the 22nd, dust and clean as best as we can, because on Tuesday, the 23rd and 24th, we're relocating civil, traffic, and victim witness back to the 6th floor. Also, changing over all the phone lines, and the IT department will take care of all the computers that need to be hooked up. There's several offices up there. Not all of them will be used. 4 offices at this current time because of the number of people going up there. But we're going to do our best to keep this thing rolling through where there's no break in service. Now that we're speaking about that, the phone system in the county is gone digital. The courthouse is a digital phone system. The annex building's digital. and this building is digital. The problem we have is that the phone systems aren't tied together. So if I call the state's attorney's office in the courthouse and they want to transfer a call back to victim witness, they can't. They have to tell them, you have to call this number and use these prompts. In order to get that accomplished, we have to add some things to each one of these systems, tie it in with the IT department, and tie these three systems together. It would umbrella all of our buildings and our phone systems. It's crucial that we do this. We'd be crazy not to complete this process. I have a price currently right now from Reuter Electric to complete that project for $8,100. And you can see that on your finance, on the second page of your finance report, there's a sheet there. I haven't talked about this with Kevin. I just received this yesterday from Reuter, and I see Kevin's here, and I'll defer to him on how we're going to have to move forward with this part of the project.
Kevin?
I was just going to say that nothing happens until I see it.
Absolutely.
If it's going to be on the network network data takes priority. If you need to do this, we may have to put an additional cost onto it to isolate that. I can see the reasoning for doing that, but nothing goes on the network without me approving it first.
Absolutely. I was going to say that. This is all pending the IT department. So again, I have a price of $8,135. And again, I haven't had a chance to talk to Kevin. All I wanted to do is bring this to your attention. We will talk about this some more. We need to umbrella this, but again, we'll have to go through IT to get this accomplished. So, on 5/23/24, we'll move these guys upstairs. I have until the end of the month to make everything that's over there go away. I met with Mike Pinsky in hopes that we would be able to make a deal with the new tenants there for the cameras, the burglar alarm system, the swipe card system. That's our phone system there, and that's our IT system there. Kevin will be removing the IT equipment. The phone equipment is all coming out. The company that's leasing that doesn't want any of it. They're a national company. They use the same equipment in all their locations and are not interested in intermingling different products. If they have something go down, boom, they send out what they have and it gets fixed. Makes perfect sense. So we're going to have to go back over there and pull this stuff out of there. Now, the camera system is not a big deal. The swipe card's not a big deal. The IT stuff, the phone, we're on top of all of that there. Here's where the problem lies. I have an $80,000 rolling file system over there. It's a 7-rack rolling file system that came from Jerome Combs and was transferred to there. It was $18,000 to relocate that set of rolling files. We have nowhere to take it. I don't have any use for it. We can't use it anywhere because of HEPA laws that say we can't leave files on shelves that aren't protected like they are there in a locked room. So I guess what I'm looking for is what do we want to do with them? Now, there are stationary file cabinets that are there. We're going to pull those out of there. I'm going to guess about another $20,000 worth of stationary file cabinets. We're going to pull those out, transfer some of them up to here. I will be able to store what we hope is remaining. I hope there isn't going to be a whole bunch, but we'll be able to take some of that back over to the Treasurer's building. But the rolling file system, I called Bradford's. I asked them if they would see if they couldn't find someone who might be interested in purchasing them from us. I just need to know what you want me to do.
Mr. Olthoff.
Have we checked with any of the firms in town like CSL or Olivet or?
I haven't talked to anybody. I wanted to come here first and find out what you guys' pleasure was.
Has this been all approved through the state's attorney, right? There's negotiations with them?
He does. What do you mean, through Pinsky?
Yeah.
No, Pinsky doesn't want the rolling files.
Okay, but the state's attorneys have said we can do all what we're doing.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, he wants them gone.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I say, we can't take them anywhere. There's nowhere to put them.
Okay.
So,
any ideas? Any suggestions? A lot of money sitting there.
What do you recommend?
I think we can sell them ourselves.
Put them on eBay or put them online.
I think we can get rid of them. I think Mr. Olthoff has a great idea. I think if we contacted CSL or because they're getting ready to put up, I guess I'm hearing 2 more buildings. So
they haven't finished that. We're going to finish that one first, and then put up 2 more.
Right. So I don't know. I'm looking. I'd like to see them go away, quite frankly. They're too big to put anywhere in the spaces that we currently have.
Mr. Tripp?
Do you need a motion?
No, I don't think so. He can just do it. Just do it, yeah. Mr. McKay?
Just a quick question. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Where'd all those files go, Brian? Did he incorporate it into other?
Well, there's probably 150 boxes of dead files currently stored over at the Treasurer's building. That was the first move we made. He took what he had left to the rolling files that are up on the 3rd floor of the courthouse. There's a complete room with rolling files in them. So those are going there, and then civil and traffic and victim witness will come up here, and hopefully we'll be able to store what they have left. There isn't a whole lot over there when it comes to civil and traffic.
Mr. Jess?
Don't we have to go through the process of declaring this surplus like we do with everything else?
I would think so.
Yes, I would say yes. We have to go through that.
So do you need a motion to declare that surplus property so we can sell it?
That's a good question. I don't know what the state's attorney had agreed with Mr. Pinsky or not. I don't know what's going on.
I have a meeting. We have a meeting on Tuesday with Jim Moreau concerning some other things.
Yeah,
Can I get with them and find out what this process
let's get the
needs
legal
to be?
opinion on that. Yeah. Okay? Is that acceptable? Okay.
And we'll bring this back to a committee to get this thing taken care of. Okay. Again, we're going to go right through the end of the month here, trying to get everything out of that building. Mr. Pinsky's been really, really cooperative here. If we can't get those rolling files out, he's not concerned about it. Go ahead and leave them. He won't charge us anything until we can get them gone. So he's being very helpful in that regard. So we are working with him, and so that'll go okay, I think. Rolling files. All right, we're going to move to the relocation. Done. Building report. I have a lawnmower out. I have 2 Skag lawnmowers that we currently use to mow the grass. Keep in mind, I don't have inmates mowing anymore. It's all being done by my department. I have one of them lawnmowers we put way more money than it's worth into. It's a Skag lawnmower. It's 0 turn. If we go to the John Deere tractors, it'll take us twice as long to mow with those John Deeres than it does those Skags. I need to replace a Skag lawnmower. Now, I haven't priced out a Skag. I wanted to come here first and get permission to go start doing this. We need to replace one of those. It's over 10 years old. So it's time to replace the equipment.
Mr. Vickery?
I agree, Brian, on that 0 turn. They're twice as fast.
They are.
But instead of, Skag's fine, but everybody makes them.
Oh, right.
Get some prices from somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I want to do. I want to go out and get some pricing on this lawnmower. We need to replace it. It's just starting to turn costly, dumping money into it. So,
You're down.
Right. We replaced the carburetor on the fly. I bought a carburetor from eBay the other day, and we replaced it on the fly last week. So that's how it's going.
Need a motion to allow Brian to go out and solicit bids for this 0 degree mower. Mr. Tripp, Mrs. Polk. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
All right, the phone system, I'll get with Kevin on. We'll go through that. Rolling files, I'll work on that. We're going to remove all that equipment over at the state's attorney's office, and we're going to bring it back here, and I'm going to store it. That camera system we'll be able to reuse somewhere. The swipe card system we're going to relocate to the 6th floor. That'll go into a swipe. We'll be able to use that in this whole building. So that's something else that we're going to get back here. So I'll be working on that as well. All right. We'll talk about buildings first. Signage for the 1st floor is going in as we speak. If you walk down there, you'll see all that's put in. Signage out on the drop box. We activated the drop box in the safe in the basement. There's a sign on the outside of the building indicating where the drop box is, and that's been taken care of as well.
Kevin's got a question. Mr. Duvall.
I noticed that sign's there. Nobody talked to me about that. There are people going in and out of the server room to access that. I need to know who those are And
Only the treasurer's office.
that's not okay. I need to know the specific people that go in that server room.
Oh, very good. I'll get it to you. I had a garage door break here the other day down in this building. I had to have Tuesday on come over and fix that. Treasurer's building, all the files from the state's attorney's office being relocated there. Heating and cooling is set down to, we're not heating and cooling the building right now, very minimal. The basement tunnel still has water issues. It continues to leak even though we're dry. So we have water. We have water in ground over there under that parking lot somewhere. So, the maintenance office will be relocated down to the VAC. As soon as we get everybody else done, I'll be moving out of this office here on the 4th floor, and I'm moving down to the VAC building, which is tied to the back of the maintenance shop. That will then be used as a video stream overflow for county board meetings and public meetings that we're going to have here. That's being taken care of through Andy and the IT department. I had a problem over at the courthouse. The sewer lines in the courthouse are rotting apart. I have a pump in the basement, a discharge pump for the kitchen that's down there. We started pumping water out onto the floor. It turns out the sewer line turns and runs down the wall next to the elevator shaft, underground out to the sewer system. The top of that sewer line in the basement was completely rotted off. We've done a temporary repair on it, but there's no way to get to it unless I take the wall down in the elevator shaft. Again, I have a temporary fix on this. This is starting to occur more and more there. We had to completely replace the west side sewer line from the basement to the roof because it was completely rotted out. That was about 2 years ago. So we're finding this more and more and more. It's 100 years old and those sewer lines are starting to rust. They're all cast. They're just breaking apart. They crumble apart in your hand. So we're going to continue to see some problems here.
What do you replace it with?
We took sheet metal, galvanized sheet metal, wrapped it in fern coat coupling with rubber couplings. We basically made an outside cover for it. It's about what we did. We'll be meeting on Tuesday about the Attorney General stuff at the courthouse for the submittals that we have to give to them. We'll be meeting with the state's attorney and the county board chairman and the vice chairman. We'll be meeting to talk about all that and what we're going to send to them for the submittals and keeping that process moving along. I was called out several times for a broken water line at the old jail. I got called out on a Saturday night. I got there was an 1.5 inch line had blown apart. There was about 8 inches of water in the boiler room. We found a bad compression coupling. We got it put back together. And lo and behold, it busted again. So we have this repaired. There was no damage done. It was just a matter of getting the water shut off and getting things put back in order, and we did it. Oh, we didn't. We just had regular compression. That's what was on it. It was regular compression fitting. So I have several fixtures in that building. They're in desperate need of repair. And again, the parking lot on the north side's crumbling apart, you guys. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Buildings otherwise are doing okay, general and standard repairs. It's not even a big deal. Things are going along okay. Again, the annex is doing all right. Now I ran into another problem. I got called out at 10 o'clock at night a couple weeks ago. There's a transfer switch in the public safety building. Inside the public safety building is a server room. That server room feeds all of New World and 911. We lost power. I got called, went out there. The transfer switch never transferred. About 3 months ago, I had a service done on that transfer switch and they recommended that the solenoid be replaced. What that solenoid does, it's about this long, 7 or 8 inches, and about maybe 4 inches around. It's a solenoid plunger and it transfers that from normal to emergency power. It fails. Doesn't fail every time, but occasionally it fails. That little plunger was $3,800. It took me 7 days to get one. We haven't replaced it yet. I went back into the computer room and we've transferred everything onto our emergency backup system. the big one. We had a couple of smaller emergency backup systems here. We transferred it all onto our big system. I had to buy one of those plungers. The GE is the only one that we can get these parts from. It was $3,800. And the guy won't take anything but a credit card because he did a service for it and he still hasn't been paid yet. So he said to me, you want this part? I'll get it for you. And I have to buy it from him for $3,800, but I had to put it on my credit card in order to get it here. So I currently have that part sitting there waiting. In the event of a failure, they'll be here within the hour and make that change. So this isn't something we can even let go. I had to do this. This is something we absolutely have to have. We have right now about 22 minutes of backup there.
Mr. Olthoff.
Why not make the change right away? So you don't get called at 10 o'clock at night.
It's going to be another $1,500 to have him come change that solenoid out, and I need about 4 hours. So I got to shut this thing completely down. That building's got to go down in order for
Done sometime.
right.
Would it be better to schedule it than to have to wait for?
Well, that's again another $1,500 on top of the $3,800 that I've currently spent, and he wants it on the credit card. So, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Make the change. I believe me, I'll make the phone call, get this done.
I'm thinking instead of in the middle of the night, have this thing go down for 4 hours and we can't get a guy in the middle of the night. What's your pleasure? Mr. Tripp?
I would say schedule it.
Okay.
Anybody else? Mr. Vickery?
Yeah. Let's get it fixed.
I think so too. I just, for his benefit too, and for the server, if it goes down at 2 o'clock in the morning, that 4 hours is gone.
The credit card issue, is that the county's credit card?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you have authorization, that's been released? I mean, you're able to use that credit card?
Oh, yes, sir. Absolutely. And
Okay.
Typically I try not to buy anything with my credit card unless I absolutely have to have it. Then I'll use my credit card for those purchases.
Because we kind of put the lid on the credit cards, and I just wondered
Yes.
if yours was active. Okay. So you can use your credit card and do it? Okay. I think we should do it.
Okay.
What the rest of the committee feels like, but
Mr. Stauffenberg?
Thank you, Chairman. Brian, what's the amount of the unpaid bill to this company? Maybe you ought to put it on the credit card too.
Well, I did speak with him 2 days ago, and he said to me he did get payment for the service schedule. So, but he does not want to do work by invoice.
I understand why.
And I couldn't argue with him. I really didn't have much of an argument for him. So,
Well, I think it's better for us to schedule it so you can tell the people and put this on a program to get it, so it's less hassle and less inconvenience for everybody. So what's the committee's pleasure? Do we authorize them to go ahead and do this?
Yep.
Do I need a motion to, Mr. Tripp, Mrs. Pope? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Spending money.
We're spending money. We are. Roll call. Thank you.
Mr. McConnell,
Aye.
Mr. Hildebrandt, no, Mr. Tripp,
Aye.
Mr. Legess, Mr. Stauffenberg, Mr. Vickery, Mr. Olthoff, Ms. Polk, Mr. Mulcahy,
Aye.
Ms. Weber, Ms. Evans, Ms. Peters, Ms. Parker, Mr. Lear.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you for that. Okay.
the next thing, over at the courthouse, phone system. Each one of the phone lines in the courthouse that are analog costs us about $30 a month. We've converted over all the courthouse except for the judges, courtrooms, and some of their employees, some of their staff. There's a few offices there that need to be converted over. Each one of those phones run about $375 a piece. Figured they needed 28 phones. A 2-port, 12-port digital service card and a station card comes at $13,957 to convert over the judiciary of the courthouse. I don't know what your pleasure is here. Typically, each department paid for that as we moved along. The base system's in. The rest of it would hinge on courts. I want to go to the judges and see if they'll be willing to pay the $13,000 to have their phones converted over. See if the judiciary can pay for this themselves. I just wanted to let you know that's what I was going to do. All right, and everybody in the county has paid for their own stuff, so we're clear on that. Again, that umbrella on them phones, $8,100, and I'll talk some more about that after I'm with Kevin. All right, attached to your finance sheet on the second page, we need to talk about some things. A year ago, I mentioned that we needed to change 3 sets of batteries out of Jerome Combs. They're on a 5-year cycle. One of those batteries is the chloride system. It backs up master control. There are also 2 Sure Light systems in there, one in phase 1 and one in phase 2, that keeps all the jail doors locked and all the lights on in the event of a power failure till the generators kick in and take over. To replace those batteries for those 3 systems is $27,807. I asked for that when I did my budget this past December, and lo and behold, I was given the same exact amount as I was given in 2015. So we did make provisions for this. So I have to replace those batteries. We have 2 options here. You can say don't replace them. Let's wait a little while and hope that they don't fail. They recommend a 5-year cycle on all batteries. And that's what I've stuck with the generators and 911 at the old jail. I'm saying this is something we need to stay on top of. We're at 5. They're all due June of this year, these 3 systems. The other 3 that I have are 21 and 22 because we've since caught up here with these batteries on the other systems. These 3 we haven't. We can talk about all this in full as we move forward. The swipe card system you guys approved for $22,853. They finally got all the bugs worked out of this that they needed to do between the jail and the public safety and all the buildings. That was Trent Bukowski and Chief Kalawinzu. They've got these bugs worked out. We're moving forward with this. They have all the parts and we're ready to go on it. It's already been approved by you guys a couple months ago. Johnson Control heating and cooling upgrades. Johnson Controls put the heating and cooling system in Jerome Combs. About 4 months ago, the computer crashed. The county never signed a service agreement with Johnson Controls at the end of that project. So they never came back and did anything. We're 10 upgrades back. When that computer crashed, we lost all control of the heating and cooling there. We were able to get the IT department to take that computer and drive it up, keep driving that computer up until we finally got it to fire, and we downloaded the hard drive onto another computer. We were able to save it. We put it back in and it's currently working. I met with Johnson Controls out there. It's $28,200 to do all those upgrades. There's 5 controllers, a new computer, a new hard drive, and of course they're asking me to sign a service agreement, which we should have done in this situation when the jail was completed. Irregardless, $28,200. If this fails, I lose all control of that system. We have no controls. I'll have to call Johnson Controls down. They'll have to tie back into it with what they have and get this thing operational for us. We have to fix this. We have to fix this.
And normally when you sign a contract with these control people like that, the upgrade is included every year. And we didn't do that previously, so we've got 5 years of upgrades that haven't been done, that have to be done. It should have been done every year. I don't know. I
have no idea.
I don't know that. But you know yourself, Jim, every time you sign it, it's in that contract that they upgrade it, and all the upgrades are automatic, and when new ones come out, they do it. But it didn't get done. So.
This is a must-do list. These are must-do things, you guys. I don't know what to say about this. Inmate kitchen. In the inmate kitchen, it's a tile floor with grout. This is not uncommon that the acid from the food eats the grout away. It's so bad right now, we're down to bare floor. It's never been addressed since the jail was built 10 years ago. I called out Tile by Lonnie, came out one day and walked this down with me, said somewhere between $8,500 and $10,000 to clean, break that kitchen down into 4 sections, completely clean those tiles, dry them, grout them, and seal them. Do it in 4 stages, somewhere between $8,500 and $10,000. There's no getting around this. We're down to bare floor. Tiles are going to start busting loose off the floors next because the acid.
Is it quarry tile or just regular?
It's 8 by 8 square tile.
Is it red?
Yes.
That's quarry tile.
They just did this out at the Veterans Center and Riverside Hospital. He told me they did a little project there as well.
Tripp?
I just asked the question, why can't we do it? It's a pretty simple operation.
I don't have anybody.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the other question I'd have is, well, yeah, okay, you don't have anybody.
I'm down to 9 guys. I mean, I just don't have anybody to throw on a project like that.
Mr. Vickery?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Brian, is there a different flooring that we can use there? I mean, I'm asking because you're talking about replacing the whole thing.
You know more than me about that than I do. I don't know.
I do. That's quarry tile. That's a big red thick, and the quarry tile will last forever. It's the grout that doesn't last. And if they would have sealed it properly, the quarry tile's fine, but it's the grout. That quarry tile will never. I mean, it'll go 100 years, and you'll still have the same thing there.
How long will the grout last?
Well, that's the problem. The grout's the problem, and normally that's an ongoing maintenance problem that you do once, maybe every 2 years. You clean it and reseal it. Obviously, it hadn't been done. So, but the grout is the main thing because of the dishwasher chemicals and things that go on the floor. If it wasn't sealed properly in the first place, but the chemicals will take the protection off the grout. The quarry tile will last. The grout's the problem. Mr. Tripp.
Pat, you're right. The other thing is the cleaning process.
Yes.
There's some advocate using acids to clean it. That cuts out the grout is a cement.
Right.
And it just eats away at it. So the proper cleaning should be in place too. So somebody might be using the wrong product to clean with. That's the only comment I'd say. Or we're gonna have the same thing again.
Yeah. And the sealing is critical.
Well, all acid and bleach-based products have been removed from here, so those are all gone.
That's
right.
Yeah.
So that's another project that needs to get done. Phase 2 overhead door, phase 3 overhead door. That's phase 3. There's an overhead door. They're currently parking ICE buses inside that phase 3. That door doesn't have an operator on it. It's phase 3 door. I'm sorry, that's a typo there.
Okay, phase 3. All right.
I got with Reuter Electric, the electrical feed and the accurate control feed, so Master Controls knows when that door is open and closed, runs somewhere about $10,000. I'm real familiar with the electrical there. He wasn't far off on his number. And then the overhead, the operator was about $2,000. This isn't absolutely necessary, but I got to tell you, every time I send somebody out there to open that door up, it's a 15-foot overhead door. They got to jack that chain. It don't take long to wear you out. Before somebody gets hurt, pulling that door up.
Or let it slam shut.
Yes, it's something that we need to address. We did talk to the sheriff and the chairman of the board. We took the administration van from here, and they sold that van, or are in the process of selling it. Chad Gessner is. We asked if we could take those funds and apply it to that overhead door, and the sheriff agreed, and so did the county board chairman. So we do have some funding for it, but I don't know how much just yet. This is something I'd like to get done. Hopefully I can drive this cost down a little bit. So, the Kankakee County Detention Center in downtown, again, I brought this to you several months ago. The valve for the elevator, we have since stopped putting so much weight on this elevator and keeping it operational. That valve replacement is $16,080. I argued with that guy from Kone forever about this. If it says elevator next to it, We pay premium price for everything because it's absolutely required by the state of Illinois that we use certified elevator equipment people to change this out. It's $16,080. It's operational right now. If it goes down, we have to take stairs to bring food to the third floor of that building. So this is something else that needs to get accomplished. The parking lot's crumbling apart. I know somebody had asked about cold patching that thing. I don't see how you can do it. It's coming apart so bad, it won't attach to anything. There's nothing to attach to anymore.
Right down to the base.
It's base sticking out of the ground. It's crumbled apart. So this is something else. Mark reported last month it was $80,137 to have that parking lot replaced. There it is. We already talked about tying these phones together, and then the Jerome Combs Detention Center has asked for a 3-compartment sink inside the kitchen. I met with Mr. McConnell this morning. There's some other things that go along with that we got to do. I got to do some research on. We currently have a price between $800 and $1,300. There was a couple of different bids, but there's some other things that we need to add on to this that I wasn't aware of. So I'll keep working on that right as we move forward.
Mr. Vickery.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Brian, can we move all this to finance next Wednesday?
Absolutely.
Can we make this presentation to finance? Because you're talking about quite a bit of money here.
Over $100,000.
Yeah.
Ms. Peters.
I second.
I haven't made a motion yet.
I made
That's what he did.
Yeah.
Now we got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
All right. I don't know what else I had. I think that was about it. Oh yeah.
You got this.
Okay. Folder inserter. I'm gonna defer to Eric from the assessor's office, and he's gonna talk to us about some pricing that he went out and got about with the folder inserter.
Ron.
When this committee met last month, I was asked to potentially bring back some numbers from a few different vendors to see what it would cost if I were to outsource the project. And so what I did, I want to ask permission. Am I allowed to mention the companies that I solicited or no? Okay, so I went through AdCraft, Postal Partners, and DevNet to see if how those prices lined up. So ostensibly, what I found is AdCraft is probably the best cost, and I have sheets for everybody if you'd like to see them. But in order for me to have them fold stuff and insert, it would cost $3,262 if I had 28,000 notices, and it would cost $4,130 if I had 35,000 notices. But I'm not going to have them print the notices because they don't have the ability to do that. They use a press. They don't use a laser printer, so they aren't able to put the barcode in the appropriate place on the page so that we can take advantage of the best postage price. So that's why we would have to print them in-house. But, they told me they would print them for 5 cents a piece. When I checked with Becky Draper, we can do it in-house for the paper and ink cost of 2 cents per unit. So we could save some cost there. It would take one of my employees about 3 days to print those notices. So that was the lesser of the quotes. Once again, just to re-encapsulate that, $3,262 for 28,000 notices, $4,130 for 35,000 notices. Then I went to Postal Partners and asked them to do the same thing, where we would deliver the up to 35,000 notices to them and see what it would cost with them. It's $6,388 for 28,000 notices, and it's $8,047 for 35,000 notices. So there's a marked difference between AdCraft and Postal Partners. DevNet, I'm not comfortable printing for DevNet because if I'm holding 35,000 notices, then I've got to mail them or get them to Sycamore. So when I got their quote, and I just got it at 8:30 this morning, they put the printing and everything in it, and it would cost us $5,264 before postage for 28,000 with DevNet, and $6,580 for 35,000 notices before postage. So it kind of worked out the way I assumed before I got the DevNet quote. The most economical route is to go with AdCraft between $3,200 and $4,200. So I just wanted to bring that information to you. And again, I've got copies of this if you'd like to see it. But it kind of raises the question, does the committee want to have Brian go ahead and negotiate his way out of that folder inserter contract? And in that vein, I'd also ask again, because I just need to make sure that this is out there. When I built my budget in August, I didn't have the $3,000 to $4,000 that we're going to be paying out to AdCraft built into my budget. So is this a central services purchase, or is this something that is charged back to my account? I was wanting to make that known.
Good question. Mr. Tripp?
Isn't this another item for finance?
I think it'd be for finance and then for, yes, because we don't know what account it's coming out of, and we
Right.
don't know what budget or anything like that's coming out of. So we probably ought to forward that to the finance.
I appreciate the
Hang on just a
report,
minute.
though.
Hang on just a minute. Probably send it there.
Absolutely. And does anybody want copies of this so you
folks,
can see it?
Folks, let's, Mr. Vickery, go ahead.
Yeah, just a motion to move this to Finance Wednesday, and he's gonna supply all the committee
The
members.
information. Okay.
Information.
Are we have a motion, a second? Ms.
Yes,
Peters.
for the second.
Okay. Any more information?
Not from me, sir. No.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. It's my understanding that the treasurer's decided he does not want to use the folder inserter. Based on what Eric's saying, I got a hold of this guy from Neopost and we spoke. We're not current, as I reported before, on our payments. What they'd like for us to do is keep it the remainder of this quarter, pay the next quarter, then they'll come in and sit down and negotiate with us how to get that folder inserter and start that process on the mail machine over. That mail machine was taken out of my budget completely 2 years ago and moved to Central Services. So, I quite frankly, I didn't have anything to do with the negotiation of those machines. That was done through the auditor's office. And I think that the board chairman and the auditor certainly should be responsible for taking care of this, because I don't have the expertise at all to take care of this. So
Ms. Peter,
If we pay for the next quarter, does that take care of you for this?
use the mic, please. Would you please? Thank you.
Okay. Since you're saying that they want us to pay for the next quarter, does that get Eric's department through, or is it the quarter after that?
Yeah, I'm a little unclear as to. I'm sorry.
What would be the end date then?
I don't know that. I have to go. I have to
Good
pull the book.
question.
I'll pull the book
Okay.
and take a look at it.
Okay.
Good
Thank you.
question.
Just as a follow-up to that, one last thing I would mention. I was talking with Becky Draper about the machine, and she feels like its performance has degraded over the years, and it did not do very well last year. In fact, to be honest with you, AdCraft, because when we ordered the envelopes, and I may get this a little wrong because it wasn't my conversations, but this is what Becky had told me. When AdCraft ordered the envelopes last year, they didn't work with the machine. So AdCraft was kind enough to fold and stuff them by hand at no additional cost to the county. And what she had told me the other day was, is it likely that the machine would work better this year than last year? Probably not. So I just want to make sure that the committee also knows that the machine's performance has degraded to the point where she tells me you can run it for about 45 minutes, then you need to let it sit for 2 hours to cool down and
take a
run
nap.
it for 45 minutes. So it may take a long time this year for me to do it in-house. I learned that information just in the last few business days, by the way, too, folks.
Mr. McKay.
Brian, concerning that machine, is that a maintenance contract included with that? I mean, wouldn't they maintain that piece of equipment?
They
for us?
do. When it stops working, they come down here. Part of the problem is everything has to be kept at a certain temperature.
Right.
You know, a little bit of humidity and it don't run right.
And they're going to blame
just
it
does
on
not
that.
run right. So that's part of the other issue we have with it.
But they do need to be made aware that, we're not happy with how the machine's functioning either. If we're going to keep it another quarter, they need to come by and do a PM on it, I would imagine.
Okay.
Thanks.
Anything else, Eric?
No, I think that now is actually everything I wanted to say. Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Pickering.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It sounds to me like we need to get out of that machine.
Yeah.
And so wherever we turn it, let's turn it to somebody who can negotiate our way out of it.
Okay.
And move on. And I would ask Eric, is that going to be a problem printing those this year? I'm sorry. I know you said 3 days.
Are you asking if it's a problem for us to print them and then get them to AdCraft or somebody else?
Yeah.
No, I think we can do that within 3 business days, and it's just a matter of maintaining the printers and making sure the paper's full. We do that annually anyway. We had been for the last several years. I don't see that being an issue. That's why I split out the costs so that it was a little bit less burdensome on the county, because I thought we could go ahead and get the notices printed appropriately with the barcode where it needs to be. If we don't get the barcode where it's supposed to be, just so everybody knows, then it would cost us an extra 7.7 cents per mailing when we mail it. We wouldn't get the 37.3 per unit. We would get a 45-cent per unit. So it's really important that we get that barcode where it needs to be, and AdCraft does not have the technology to do that. That's why I had to split that out. But yes, we could print them. I actually spoke with my assistant supervisor to make sure that that was something that we could do to offset the cost.
Very good.
Okay, thank you.
That's all I have.
Okay, any new business? Any new business? Okay, old business, don't forget, effective July of this year to 27, our meeting is being moved from today to the, whatever date it is. Look at your calendar, it's on your calendar.
13th of July.
Yeah, thank you. So, that's in July. We'll be here in June.
June 21st,
We'll be here,
It says July on the sheet.
yeah, we're gonna move in July, not June.
Right.
and it'll be July 19th.
It'll
Okay,
be-
thank you. July 19th will be
It'll always be the Thursday after the board meeting.
correct.
Yeah.
July 13th?
Mr.
No.
Olthoff,
Motion to adjourn.
you can't make that motion.
No.
Mr. Lejess?
I make a motion.
Okay,
Well,
make a
wait a
motion.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Excuse me. 13th.
Motion to adjourn has been, all in favor, say aye. Mr. Olthoff, you want to say no?
I misspoke.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great day.
Moly.
What I did